Today I'm going to make a tiny pumpkin. So I'm using a very thin, fine thread yarn. It's 100% cotton. It's from Ice Yarns. Natural cotton, fine. 100% cotton. 150 meters. It says to use a 3 millimeter. It says it's a 2 fine. We'll see about that. And it is, I'm using a 3.75 millimeter hook with some makeup sponges on it. So let's do a slip knot. And I'm going to do 11 chains. Okay, so that's 11 chains, and I'm doing Tunisian, so that's another reason why I'm using slightly larger hook. Okay, so let's go ahead and start pulling up yarn from starting at the second chain from the hook. Okay, just leave that knot there. So we should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 loops on our hook. And we're going to pull through 1, and then we're going to pull through 2. Okay. You just yarn over and pull through. The first one you go through 1 loop, and then the rest of them you go through 2 loops. Okay. So I'm going to do the knit stitch, and that means you go through the front and back bar. I have another video on 2-colored knit stitch, which will give you a much more detailed tutorial on how to do the knit stitch. When you get to the end, make sure you go under both outer bars of the stitch. And then just yarn over and pull through 1. And pinch that so it doesn't get tight. You don't want that to be tight because you have to use that as your outside stitch. And if it's tight, you'll have a hard time with it. So this is the return pass again. Just yarn over and pull through 1, and then yarn over and pull through 2 all the way down. It's a typical return pass. And now we're doing the knit stitch again. And this will curl. It's okay because we're going to sew it together, and it will be, it'll be fine. Okay, so we're at the last one. You see how tight that is? Yeah, there you go. Through one and pinch it. And then go through two for the rest of the row. Sometimes you have to kind of pull down on the curl so that you can see what you're doing.
Sorry, baby, you can't have a stack.
No, no. You have to go to the vet today. He's got another follow-up for his infection that he had. And his liver, what's that? Gallbladder, his gallbladder and the bile duct. Another thing you might notice is it might lean a little bit, but that also won't matter once you sew it together. That was my arm you just climbed up, buddy. Okay, well keep doing that, and I'll meet you back. Do about 10 rows, I think, is good enough. So I'm going to show you how to do the knit stitch. Hopefully I can slow this down. Okay. So here is the first bar. This is the stitch that you just finished, or the pull through two that you just finished. But you don't want to do anything in this one, you want to do it in this one. And if you were doing a normal simple stitch, you would just go through this front bar right here and then come back up like this. But because we're doing the knit stitch, you have to go in the back and go through all the way through. And you see there are two, see this one goes under that loop. So there's another bar, it goes under this cross loop. Right here is the cross loop. And here is that back loop. You got to go in between these two, this one and this one. You got to go in between and under that bar, under this crossbar. So make sure you pull it tight before you start the row. And then you'll feel it when it comes through. And you could practice this with bigger yarn. You know, something a little bit bigger weight yarn, higher weight yarn. And just do 2 hook sizes larger than what it calls for. You know, whatever that yarn weight is, just do the two hook sizes larger. If you're a tight crocheter like I am, you can go a little bit more than that. But yeah, this, you have to go a little bit larger when you're doing Tunisian crochet because it just gets very tight and the curl gets impossible to deal with. Right, I'm almost finished the pumpkin, and the crochet part is just so fast. It really is. A little teeny thing like this, like a 10 by 10, 11 by 10. It's almost ready. And I'm counting the stitches on the side here. So like this one is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So yeah, this is the last one coming up. Leave yourself a good sized tail to work with. I tried to crochet down the side when I finished my last row before my other pumpkin, and it really just isn't worth it. It's just more fiddly than it needs to be. So you're better off just making a long tail and doing just sewing it in with a needle, the tapestry needle. I recommend a finely pointed needle if you're using this yarn in this size with this size hook. Alright, let's count our row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, we're done. Just yarn over and pull through. I'm going to cut a nice long tail. Just thread it. Okay. Alright, just get some of the twist out of it. Now you can make your pumpkin a couple of different ways. You can make it longer this way, and then you can sew it together like this with the back rows as ridges, but I'm not doing that. I'm going to put mine together and then I'm going to turn it right sides out. So it's right sides together, which is the knit side, and I'm going to sew with my needle going in backwards because it'll catch less yarn that way. And I'm going to try to go through the top of the last stitch up here and not the first stitch on the side. See this right here? Because before I went through this one and it left it too low, so I'm going to go through this one. Just go through the whole stitch at the end. And now you want to put these together so that it's nigh invisible. So I'm just going down through the middle of the stitch. Go middle and out. Yes. Middle and out. I forget what stitch this is called. But do that all the way down. And when I get to the end, I will meet you back. Okay, so I'm at the end. I want to make sure I get this stitch here and that. See how I got up there? And then you want to get this one up here. This one right here. Yeah, it's gotten a little tight. Okay. Now let's turn her inside out. You can use your pinky if it's small enough. Because I actually can't even fit my thumb in there. It's so tiny. There we go. Not bad. Make sure you don't pull it too tight and then it collapses on one side. Okay. And just leave this tail here. You can use it later. So now we want to just kind of quickly go through the outside, and then going from, I'm just doing a whip stitch, along the top. I'm getting the 2 bars at the top, the V, getting the whole V. And I chose a very sharp needle. This is not a dull needle, because when we start going through the whole pumpkin, it will be difficult to do that with a blunt tip needle. Okay, I got one more. Go ahead and pull this tight. I like using cotton because it's pretty strong. Okay, so that's pulled tight. A little bit of stuffing from leftover yarn. I'm just going to use my pinky. Just stuff it right there. It's just like a thimble. So yeah, this was all yarn at one point, and I just shredded it to make stuffing using a slicker brush that I got off of Amazon. It's actually supposed to be for cats and dogs to brush them, but it works great. Okay, so now we're just going to push this through. We're just going to go right up in the top here. And if you had a blunt tip needle, it would not work as well. Okay, so now we're going to work through all of these top loops here. Okay, that is done. Go back through. Try to get out the center if you can. There we go. And if you need to, you can use a thimble. Now we're going to just pull it and just kind of squish it. Pull it tight, and you can tie a knot if you want, or you can just do what I was doing before with the other pumpkin I made. You just go around and through, and this is where a thimble would be helpful. Just go around, pull it tight, just like that. You go around again, go up the bottom. And I'm only going to do this 4 times. You can do it as many times as you want. It's just that it's so small. I just pushed it down on the needle. Just be very careful because it is a sharp needle. And before you pull it too tight, make sure you line it up along your ridges. Okay, that's where I want it. Okay, I got one more to go. It's gonna go right. Oops. Come on. Right there. Oops, it came off the needle. It's okay. I'll tie it. Just tie it a couple of times. So there you go. Got your kind of squishy indented pumpkin. And I'm going to bury this thread is turning. There we go. Okay, so I've tied it a couple times in a knot with the other tail, and now I'm just pulling it through, pulling it tight, and cutting it on the other side. Okay, and you can kind of roll it a little bit. Alright, so this is the last bit that you can do. So tiny. There we go. every chain that you make, you have to kind of tighten it a little bit. Okay, so there's your stem, and then I'm just going to hide it back down into itself. Into the pumpkin. So now I have to thread it. There we go. So you can make your stem as long or as short as you want it to be. And I thought about changing colors for this, but I don't think I have any other color that would go well as a stem. So what I thought about doing was actually using some like eyebrow pencil and just, a little bit of brown, or like maybe maybe I have some brown eyeliner that's like a pencil eyeliner, not liquid. Or you could probably use a little acrylic paint if you wanted to. But yeah, there's my little stem. This is the other pumpkin that I made. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, share, and subscribe. And remember to crochet your way today, because it's the only time we have. Take care, and I'll see you next time.